The truth about prenatal care that nobody is addressing. Your birth team tracks things like your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your baby's growth and development, but they're completely overlooking how your nervous system's actually functioning. Now, your nervous system's essential because that is how the brain communicates to every organ, muscle, and tissue in your body. Now, this is something that is not focused on in the traditional birth experience that you're going through. And that's what we're here to change, is that your nervous system's extremely important when it comes to growth and development. And that's what really every pregnant mom deserves to know, is that your nervous system test, an analysis that truly allows you to understand how your body is aiding in communication to the growth and development of your child. And this incredible journey is going to start with our discussion today. Research shows that your baby's nervous system starts to develop right alongside yours through a powerful process called co-regulation. Your baby isn't just growing inside you, they're literally learning how to regulate their own nervous system from you. Yes, this starts during pregnancy. When stress builds up and it's not processed correctly, the nervous system can get stuck in fight or flight mode. And it becomes exhausted. Nobody wants to have their baby grow in an environment that doesn't feel conducive, where their environment is stress related, like you running from a bear and they're coming into that straight out of the gates. Your nervous system is the air traffic controller for your entire pregnancy. It's that brain-body connection. It manages your stress response. It's not the stress, but it's the response your body has, and it aids in your reproductive hormones together. When it's balanced between the gas pedal and brake pedal, then you experience more of that pregnancy glow, the thing that every woman is jealous of. Now, when it's stuck in stress mode, things get harder in every single aspect. There's some hidden costs, though, of this prenatal stress, and you have to realize that this stress is no different from what you're normally going through. But I'm going to throw some things into this, is that prenatal stress builds quietly, and it's from work, finances, health, family stress, and you're very much overwhelmed. So when the environment pre-conception is already challenged and dysregulated, adding in pregnancy, the body is already at a tipping point. And what it does is it also contributes to other dysregulatory pathways. So now it causes your sleep to be disrupted, and it goes far beyond what's normal in a pregnancy with its discomfort. It can also compromise or further agitate your body's immune response during seasonal or environmental changes. It can throw off your hormones, and that can further agitate your pregnancy journey, and it leads to a longer, more difficult labor with less adaptability. And the challenge with this is that there's a very specific design to birth. And yet, in our medicalized model, there is a very focused pathology-based approach. So the less adaptive and the less responsive your body is, the more challenges you may have during your birth experience. And that's why we're seeing so many moms struggle with their birth, because there's so many opportunities for interventions. And from what I see clinically, moms who have their bodies prepared, they're mentally focused, they're physically focused, and neurologically balanced, they have a higher probability of success with completing their birth plan. Now, other moms who have high levels of stress, where their health is already compromised, where they're exhibiting challenges with function and performance, where they're having gestational challenges with diabetes or high blood pressure, their hormones are getting thrown off, or they're deemed high risk due to pre-existing health challenges. All of this can be minimized if you are proactive in understanding what runs the brain-body connection, and that's that nervous system. Now, in order to first identify these stressors, we have to use some testing and some strategic analysis to understand these metrics. So we use the Neurological INSiGHT Scans at Maximize Chiropractic, and it's amazing to see how this technology can really give us a clear picture of how your nervous system's functioning. So I'm going to go through those 3 scans with you just to give you an insight. The neurothermal scan is a stress thermometer for your autonomic nervous system. So the scan measures temperature differences within the neurospinal system. These inflammatory pathways are markers for dysregulation within the autonomic nervous system. And you have to realize that the bones of your spine are designed to protect the nerves that create that autonomic nervous system. Some of you may be asking is, what the heck is this autonomic nervous system? And essentially, it's all the automatic pre-programmed communication pathways. How your heart beats, how your lungs fill up with air, how your digestion processes your food. All of these intricate factors are things that your body does automatically. However, if stress is building at certain segments of this neurospinal system, it will affect the nerve, which will then alter communication between that organ, that muscle that nerve controls, and how the brain communicates to those systems. The neurospinal surface EMG shows us exactly where stress is stored within your body. So a lot of us have stress patterns in certain regions, and those may have flare-ups with, tightness and tension in your neck or shoulders. You may notice some postural distortions where your shoulders are on level or your head shifting forward. The surface EMG gives us an understanding of postural muscles, and these muscles aren't controlled by your consciousness, but instead by the autonomic nervous system. So when there's imbalances in overactivity in certain muscle groups, it causes agitation to that brain-body connection. And finally, and really arguably the most important scan, is heart rate variability. And this measures the vagal tone. It aids in your nervous system's resilience. So the more adaptive and responsive you are to stress, whether it's physical, chemical, or emotional stress, the more opportunity your body has to ward off those challenges. These scans are safe. There's no sorts of issues. You can have them even in the 3rd trimester. There's no radiation. It's not going to give your baby any sort of agitation, but they help to objectively collect data. And that way we're not guessing. But it's also important to know that these scans are not used to diagnose a condition. They're analytically used to understand dysregulatory patterns within your nervous system. And that way we can help to improve things like co-regulation, because the more stressed out your body is, the more you're training your baby to be stressed out too. Your baby's nervous system learns from you, mom, and it learns while in utero. So in essence, a balanced mom is a balanced learning baby in a very safe environment. In the other perspective, if mom's health is imbalanced, her nervous system is dysregulated, that baby learns that environment is normal. And that's how we see a lot of kids who are born who already have dysfunction and dysregulation. Things where there's challenges in breastfeeding, or there's challenges in digestion. They're having reflux and colic. Those are not individual concerns, but on a larger scale, it shows an imbalance in regulation, because babies are born without having to be taught how to eat, how to sleep, and how to poop. And that's really where the nervous system influences digestion, and it influences sleep and their immune system, and things also with emotional resilience and the ability to self-soothe and relax. So if you remove some of these diagnoses that children may get and start to understand that a lot of these are just indicators of imbalances and lack of adaptability. The neurological path forward is a 5-step process. The first step is going to be, number 1, having a consultation in office. This consultation helps us to understand your journey. We want to know about your health prior to conception. We want to understand any struggles with fertility or conception. We want to understand the environment that you were in prior to getting pregnant. The second step is then using a baseline scan, running those 3 neurological scans so nobody's guessing, and we can clarify exactly where stress patterns are present. The third step is going to be constructing a very specific, very individualized care plan that can give you a understanding of what is necessary from a care stance, how often you'll get adjusted when we reassess the scans, and that allows you to know exactly what's necessary to regain your health. The fourth step is going to be reviewing those scans. Now that follow-up is important because you have to see what's going on and understand it. So many doctors in our medical system do not give you full clarity. They pull up a report, they say positive, negative, and you're like, hold on a second, what's that actually mean? We take time. We set aside time privately, knee to knee, and we teach you how to read your scans. And that fifth step then is that gentle, very specific chiropractic adjustment that helps to balance and stimulate how your nervous system is functioning and performing. Now the scans are followed up every 12 adjustments or every 30 days. And those scan follow-ups are important so we can compare and show objective change and improvement. So many people are used to having a diagnosis. Hypothetically, let's say blood pressure. You're taking medicine for it and your blood pressure doesn't really get better. And it definitely never gets better to the point where you can then stop taking those meds because the meds actually worked and fixed the root cause of your problem. Well, fortunately, neurologically based chiropractic care is different. We teach you how to correct the root cause of the imbalance and then teach you how to maintain those efforts through wellness-based initiatives in the future. And that's really impactful because then it gives you the opportunity is that postpartum care can really help you and your baby in the future because stress is always in our environment and it's how the body responds and reacts to that stress. This is not generic pregnancy advice. It's really personalized. It's neurological support to help you and your baby's development. And more importantly is your baby's growth and adaptability to the environment, whether it's in utero or postpartum in the real world. Pregnancy is one of the most amazing, beautiful experiences that you can be observing. And you have to make sure that your nervous system is balanced and resilient. Your baby's nervous system is developing right now as we speak if you're pregnant, and it's learning from you how to respond to the environment and to the world. Now, you don't need to worry about another list on your pregnancy journey. You just need a tool that will show you exactly what's happening in the system and understand what controls everything within your body. So if you're pregnant and you want to give your baby the strongest foundation for lifelong health, Dr. Tim Nickel here, and I'm with Maximize Chiropractic, and we're here to help you. We work with pregnant patients. We work with children. And my biggest goal with working with a pregnant mom is to keep their child out of what we see in the future as a perfect storm kiddo. Meaning working in an environment where the majority of patients have neurodevelopmental conditions, I see exactly the recipe to get to that point where a child is dysregulated, has multiple diagnoses, and is struggling to perform basic activities of normal function. Now, if you want that help, we are here to schedule you first for your scans. Let's understand where that dysregulation occurs, and let's get you and your baby in the healthiest environment, because your baby's best start begins with your nervous system functioning at its optimal best. We look forward to serving you.